Hi, my name is Josephine Shanks. I'm a member of the Garden Club of Houston, which is a member of the Garden Club of America, and I'm a member of the Society for Louisiana Irises, and because of that I want to talk to you a little bit about Louisiana Irises today. To think about how to plant them, they like fertile soil, but what they need most of all is water. So if you're going to plant some, try to look for a place that is moist or that you can flood with water in the late winter and early summer, early spring. And I'll show you a rhizome. This is a kind of a thickened root that that one plants just below the surface. If you plant it showing like you do a bearded iris, they get somehow sunburned or something happens to them, they kind of rot, and so in the sun. So we plant them very shallowly, just up to here, and then we mulch them to keep them more moist, to protect them also in colder climates. I like pine needles, but compost or mulch of any kind is beneficial. They typically have 3 bud positions, like here, 1, 2, 3, where the flowers emerge. Some have 4 or 5, but typically there are 3. And first the top one opens, then the bottom one opens, and then the ones in the middle open. And then after they have done their flowering and have fallen off, there's a second bud position behind each one of these, and so again more will open in the center, then one will open at the bottom, and the last one is at the top again. So you have quite a long bloom season for these. Now to go back to planting, they like a fertile soil, perhaps a little acid, although where I live it's alkaline, and we amend our beds a little bit like we would for azaleas. And then we plant them, as I said, just up to this area with dirt, and then mulch them a bit, and then in keeping them moist all year round is preferable, but especially right before they bloom. They will grow in the ground beautifully. They can also be potted, like this one. The trouble with potting them is that they do naturalize and they do spread. And so they will send out shoots from this rhizome, more rhizomes, so they will fill the pot fairly rapidly, and then the next offset is going to have trouble. It runs into the side of the pot and sort of comes over the top. So, but they are wonderful as potted plants as well. I use potted soil that's made for azaleas or camellias. Just to show you how they grow up, they send up that shoot and typically bloom in early spring. As early as February, March, April 15th is the time of the most bloom. A few in May. We have not had any that are that repeat in the fall. I don't think there's any limit to where they can live, but they are best along places that are warm and marshy, or at least given an adequate amount of water. We don't keep the seeds because they do not come true of either parent. But if you want, and also they use a lot of energy from the plant. But if you want more plants, you can either divide this, which might look like this when it was growing, and you just detach this part and you have a clone of the original plant, or you can plant your seeds and they will come up, but we don't know what color they will be when they bloom. If you have some sun and have a place that you can keep moist, you would be delighted to plant Louisiana irises. They are easy to grow. They are spectacular in bloom. They are wonderful as cut flowers, and they have a fairly long bloom time for each stalk. So, happy gardening.